Hi guys, how you all doing? I've had so many people ask me, what brushes do you use? What brushes do you use? What program? Let me first start by saying I use Adobe Photoshop CS6, and I've been using that one for a long time. And a lot of times I do just use the brushes that come within the program itself. Usually you can just right click and you get a whole array of brushes available. There's another way to access this. Usually, I never know how to do this because I have my own shortcuts. Window brushes, somewhere along that line. Brush presets is what it is. So you can go to window, or brush presets, and it'll bring up another window on all the other brushes available. You can make new brushes, you can load other brushes, like they have a whole different pre-made brushes that you can use. I never touch these except for just your basic brush, which is this one here, and it's nothing special, just, regular brush. I do have pen pressure, a tablet. It's a Bamboo Fun. It's 6 years old, and it works perfectly fine. And it's, so it has pen pressure available. Usually it needs a spacing 1. The shape dynamics are on. Everything is set to 0. Some smoothing and everything. So it's just, very simple. Nothing special. I typically use this for sketching and quick projects, quick drawings if I have no plans to make it look any nicer. When I do my softer shading, I use a soft brush, which is this airbrush here. I use it for very light gradients, never anything. I never shade with this, it's too soft. Like, never shade with a brush this soft. That's a terrible idea, guys. So it's just a basic airbrush, and you can easily find these within the program. Like, here's another soft brush, but it's too hard. I like them when they're really light, and it fades out more. So, see if I can figure out how to show you how to make it if you can't find it. Let me look at how it's set up here. So it looks like the spacing is pretty high. Yeah, see, if you turn the spacing to 1%, it makes it really dark. So if you bring the spacing down a little bit, it helps you make it fluffy, like clouds. Okay, so here's what the difference is on it. The reason it spreads out so much, because right here I have my minimum diameter to 0, and if I increase it all the way up, it spreads it out a lot more. I also have on pen pressure. I did it on different settings. You can always mess with it. It changes it up a bit. You can even leave the pen pressure off. It makes no difference at all. I think the important part is have a transfer on. Is that what does this? Transfer is another tip. I don't know how they put this together, because like I said, this is a brush already available in the library on Photoshop. The only thing about this that's different is I did make it a lot fluffier, because I think it was originally this brush, and I edited it so it wouldn't be too icky. So usually what I do is when I get a drawing, I want a soft gradient, so I would usually just do a quick gradient like so, and then erase around the edges, and that way I have a nice simple gradient. And then I would go on top again with another brush and either multiply it with a lighter layer and then get another shadow that way. Save them. That's what I typically do, like so. So I still have the illusion that there is a gradient from light to dark, while as well as having a sharper shadow. And so that's the only time I ever used that. I never used it for anything else. When I do softer shading, I use this brush here. It definitely has a lot of pen control, like I'm pressing very light. And this is me pressing darker. Look more black if I use black. So yeah, lighter and lighter and lighter and lighter and lighter. So this one is something that's not really available in the library. It kind of is, but it's not as smooth as my brush. Like, there is one available in the library. I don't have it on here because I deleted it. It's not that. Is it this one? No. It's somewhere in there. I deleted it because I didn't like it, because it had spacing in it. So the one that is in the library had some spacing in it, like very little bit of spacing, not very notable, but when you move the brush across, you can see I don't know if it'll show up in the video, but you can see like layers of the little round brushes, and it really bothers me. So I always make sure that the spacing is brought to 1%, or you can just turn it off. Actually, no, don't turn it off. That's terrible. It makes it go away. Okay, so no, put it to 1%, and so it gives you that. An important thing is to make sure you have your pen pressure on. Pen tilt makes it wonky. Let's see what else. I'm experimenting right now just to see what happens if people try different things. So pen pressure is usually just the go-to for everything, in my opinion. You can always try other things. It might depend on your tablet as well. So you need to have your pen pressure on and your minimum diameter, can't speak, to 100%. Your transfer needs to be turned on. Everything, all the settings here is pressure. Make sure your smoothing is on. It keeps everything smooth to protect the texture. It's very simple. Let me actually put it together again. So here's another basic brush. Like here, I even start even more simple without any pen pressure. So here is a brush with no pen pressure at all. So my first step is I'm going to go to my spacing, set it to 1. It's even less pen pressure now. And then I'm going to go to Shape Dynamics. And now that I've clicked on it, it's already giving me this, which is this brush here, my basic brush right here. So now that I have edited that, it's created the pen pressure effect, if that makes sense. And then, so my next step will be to go to the minimum diameter, set it to 100%, and then next you want to turn on the transfer, and that's how it gets that smoothing effect at the end, how it fades in and out. You don't need to do anything else here. Like if you mess around with it, you get little weird bubbles. I don't know what happens if you do it here. It doesn't make a huge difference. If you have the flow jitter on, it does make it ugly. Of course, always experiment with it too, but this is what I use. Okay, so those are the brushes I use that are available with Photoshop. All the other brushes that I ever use, I get them from Kyle T Webster. He has a website, I'll make sure to link it here, and he has a huge variety of brushes that you can buy. I bought the Ultimate Mega Pack right here, it's $14. I also currently own the Art Marker, and I think I got his brush sample. I'm not sure if I did. I don't think I did. I did get the animated pencil, but I don't think it works without having it into us or something like that. So yeah, he has a very large variety of brushes that try to mimic traditional media, and they're brilliant. They're definitely worth the money. I would definitely say download these. He only has them available on Photoshop though. I don't think they are available for Psy or GIMP or anything like that, which it sucks a bit, definitely for people who don't have Photoshop. But anyways, let me show you guys some of the ones that I use the most. Like every now and then I'll experiment with some of these brushes because there's a lot that I own and I don't use all of them. I like some of the marker ones, but I haven't got a good hand on them yet. This one right here is really nice if you want to write. There's something special about it. Let's see. Now, these are one of those animated pencils, but it doesn't really do anything special to it, in my opinion. Happy HB is one I use a lot. It's just like, it's got this pencil effect, and it's really good for when I do soft drawings. I sometimes bring it down, and it's just got a cute texture. It has a very thickness to it, so you can't really get a small line. Like, this is me pressing my lightest, and when I press the lightest, it's just more faded. It doesn't get any smaller. It's kind of within the same thickness. Sorry, I have a cold, by the way, so if I sniffle, apologies. Too Smooth to Be Gone is one of my favorites. It's a great ink pen. It's got some texture, and it's got really nice control on it. Very smooth, as I'm pretty sure he intended by that name. So I usually use this for most of my inking. There's another one that works very similar. It's called Your New Favorite Inker, and it's pretty much the same thing. I think the only thing that's different about it is think it's just a lot different when you press light. It might be a slightly different texture to it, but from what I see, they're very similar. I think the pen pressure control is a lot easier on your hand with a too smooth to be gone. To be forgotten. I said to be gone. To be forgotten is actually the name of that. So it's too smooth to be forgotten and your new favorite inker are the two I use for most of my inking. And then let's see. Another one I just recently discovered is called Low Ink Flat Flex. Say that 5 times fast. It's a really nice one with another great texture to it, and I usually bring it down because it starts with a default size of 35 pixels. So I usually bring it down. It does annoy me because when you press lightly, it's like very faded, and it also has this trick to it that whenever you move your pen in a certain direction, it gives you a different effect. Like here's me going up and down and diagonal, and then when I go straight this way, it's kind of like different. And like sometimes it'll give me a nice thin line like that, and other times it'll be thick. Like I don't know how I managed that. I'm like moving my pen around too. I'm like zigzagging my pen as I drag it across the screen. It's giving me all these different thickness, and it's just really great. It definitely mimics inks very well. Let's see, Go Gritty is one I tried. It's too textured for my opinion, or for my tastes that is, but you know, give it a go if you want to try it. He does have some really super thin tech pens that you can use. I don't like pens that have they don't have enough pen pressure to it, like they're just like one thickness. I don't like single thickness pens. Bad brush inker is okay, but it confuses me because this is 50 pixels, but I'm getting such a tiny line. It looks great though. Bone Joy brush is a brush I just recently also discovered that I really enjoy shading with. It's not very easy for me to explain it, but it's got this nice hatching effect. So really fun to shade with this. This is me pressing lightly, and pressing down. So you can great shading, great texture all around. I want to see if I can find anything else to show off. I mean, I would definitely say please buy these pens and pencils, and these brushes are marvelous. Definitely worth the money, I say. Definitely support that artist. That brilliant ability to make brushes. I don't think there's much else I use. I need to start using more for certain, but because I have all these brushes that I bought and I don't use. But yeah, please feel free to leave me any questions if you have anything else you need to know. I'm always willing to do tutorials if you guys need me to. And yeah, so leave some comments, and I hope you guys have a great day. How do I end this?